Opinions expressed in this presentation are those of the producer and those appearing in the show and do not necessarily represent the views of DerryCam, the Town of Derry, or any of its staff or affiliates. Hi, I'm Anthony Henry. Welcome back to America's Ass. So, we had an election yesterday, and I guess we're going to talk about it. It was certainly interesting, and we have some Derry people on the show today. So, we have Councillor Brian Chirichiello in his 4th appearance, and that does break the record as of now for most appearances, and our new school board member, Karen Rand. So, welcome, and please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Karen Rand, newly on the school board as of yesterday. I was voted in, so I'm just kind of looking forward to adding to the town and helping us go forward and get the schools in tip-top shape.
And I'm Brian Chirichiello. I've been here forever. I'm actually winding down, so officially I'll be done my duties as town councilor in District 4 on Monday. So looking forward to discussing the election from yesterday.
And thank you for everything you did for the town. I believe 18 years as a town councilor, 10 years as a state representative, 4 years as county commissioner. 4 years.
Yeah.
So you've been everywhere. So thank you for all you did for the town, county, and state.
Thank you.
All right. So like I said, we did have an election yesterday, and it was a mixed bag to say the least. We got Karen on the school board, so we gained a seat on the school board. But we did lose on the town council. So for the councilor at large race, Michelle Moget got 685 votes. Tom Carden got 342 votes. Jacob Coughlin got 430 votes. Jim Dietzel got 327 votes. That was councilor at large. That was the open seat. So yeah, I guess you guys can start.
Yeah, so it was interesting because you have 4 people. Anytime you have 4 people for one office, it kind of splits votes. So that's not to say that, Michelle didn't work hard, but the fact of the matter is those, all the votes get split onto 4 people, which is tough, right? To be honest with you, the turnout was very low. I don't like to see low turnouts. I think it was 10% of the overall people that were able to vote, and that's disappointing because I kind of consider these races as pocketbook issues. This is really where your taxes, that's where it comes in, your local elections. So it's unfortunate because in December people complain about their taxes, but yet you see these low turnouts. So hopefully in the future we can collectively try to find ways of bringing more people in to vote. But congratulations to Michelle. She's one of 7, and we'll see how she does.
She'll bring a voice to the council that's not really on the council right now. It's gonna really shake things up. So Michelle kind of represented the more liberal faction of the town, and as Brian said, we had 3 Republicans of varying viewpoints within the Republican Party running, and they split the vote. If you add it up, if there was 1 Republican, they would have beat Michelle, but they split, and we now have Michelle on the council. So it's going to be different. Like, we haven't really had a real loud liberal voice on the town council in, I believe, 2 years or so. So it's gonna shake things up.
I think in one way that's going to be really good because the sitting members on it, they're really going to be doing their homework, and their voice is going to matter, and they'll be able to kind of ping pong back to Michelle things that she says, and it'll expose a lot. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, and in the way the makeup of the town council is, it's 7 people. You're one of 7. So, if she was to be vocal on certain subjects that other people didn't like, she's 1 vote. The fact of the matter is she's going to be new to that position. It's going to take time for her to learn that. And, you know, what I've always observed is any newbies that come into certain positions, they usually listen. That's why, you know, the old saying, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. You want to listen and learn. So let's see what happens. We'll give her the benefit of the doubt and see what she does, right?
Yeah, and with the other 2 council races, they were unopposed. Councilor Charlie Foote won with, I think, like 7 write-ins against him, but that didn't matter. And Randall Chase is taking your spot on the council.
Yeah, and anyone that knows Randall Chase, he's a great guy. You know, he grew up in this town. There's actually, you know, the old Chase Mill building. I think that's part of his family. I served with Randall on the planning board, so he's very knowledgeable. It's new for him as far as the town council seat, but he knows the issues that are going on. He knows about Exit 4A. He knows about the downtown area. So I'm very confident that he's going to do a tremendous job. So.
And one race that actually didn't get a lot of attention was the library trustee race. We got a very solid Republican in the Derry Public Library trustee system. We have Andrea Lindsay, who was the top vote getter for the public library trustees. So.
I will admit, I don't really know any of those people running for those offices, but if you say that is, then that's great.
It's her and Lorraine Lindenberg now.
Oh, yeah, I know
Yeah.
Lorraine. I know Lorraine well.
Yeah, so I think everyone was unopposed with the exception of that for library trustee. Tina was reelected as clerk.
Yeah.
Craig Cunningham was reelected as trustee of the trust funds. And for school board, you, Jen Thoreau, and Brenda Willis were unopposed. So you got on pretty easily. I don't think you were expecting to get on that easily.
I was not. I expected there to be a couple of more people running at least. I'm kind of surprised there weren't. Come on, Derry, step it up a bit. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see where it all goes. I'm going to, like Brian said, I'll be doing a lot of sitting and listening and watching and learning for sure.
What do you think that says about the state of the school board right now? That we thought this would be by far the most contested race, but
really did.
really no one signed up.
Nobody. And for 2 people to give up their seats, that was shocking to me. So I really would like to see this school board just turn around and get all in, fix some of these deep issues that we have. The deferred maintenance on the building, number 1. That really needs to be taken care of. I would really not like to see more money coming, you know, asking the people for more money. I don't want to see another bond. I want this bond to be able to take care of things and for us to find reserves to take care of other things down the line. But we'll see. Like I said, I'm going to sit, I'm going to listen, I'm going to learn a lot. I don't want to see our taxes going up as much as anybody else.
And the thing I'm concerned about the most with the school board is behavior. I'm hoping that will improve with this new board.
So I have already heard that I was made fun of, which you can't hurt me. I mean, I'm one of 7 children growing up, so there was a lot there. But, you know, I would just love to work together with everybody, regardless of your political views, regardless of what they are. We just need to do what's best for the town.
And with the other school board race, it was the 2 special races to take Wilbert Danger and Katie DeLay's seats. Jamie Corot and Jenna Paradise were elected to that, and they defeated Representative Richard Tripp for that. So there was that, and the bond, which we've been talking about for a while now, it was 1,296 yes, 585 no.
Right, and as we all know, it takes 60%. So 6 out of every 10 have to vote yes for that bond to pass. It did manage to get over that, probably by, I didn't do the full math, but I want to say like 111 or 112 votes, just over that 60% threshold. So it just squeaked by. My personal opinion, most people know that I came in asking to reduce that bond to 16 million. Because I felt that you could still do 90% of that work that was proposed on all those schools. And I thought that would have been a better route. But, you know, the people come out and vote, and that's what it is. So now, you know, I know Karen's going to be there. My hope now is that the new board actually looks at that money and holds everybody accountable to get the most bang for the dollar. That's what it's all about for the taxpayers, right? We don't want to make sure we're not, the old $300 toilet seats the governments used to pay for and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to see any of that. I don't think any taxpayer wants to see that. So the money's coming, the bond's coming, so it's already there. So let's make sure that we're doing everything right and we're getting the biggest bang for our dollar and we're not wasting the money.
We should have Doge come to the Derry school system. That'd be fun.
Yeah, just a little inside thing, and I know this is kind of funny. Working at Pinkerton, I went downstairs in the basement, and they have a Desante water, what do you call those, vending machines?
Yeah.
There's no water in there, but it's running. So if Doge was going to be there, that'd be one of the things that they pull the plug on, because we're refrigerating nothing in that machine. So, but anyway, I just thought that was kind of comical.
They stopped running that machine because too many students were trying to bang it and get them to fall out.
Okay, but take the plug out. We're spending money on electricity.
So the budget, which I got to work on as a member of fiscal advisory, that was really fun, and I'm glad I get to stay on. So, thank you to the board for keeping me on. That passed 1,392 to 490, and this budget was actually about 10 or 12 cents higher than default, lower than default. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So, this was actually technically by 10 or 12 cents, the better of the two scenarios. So.
Yeah, and then, so now, the school board over time never got a lot of credit, got a lot of people complaining, but on this particular item, I think that they did their homework. My feeling is that they knew that they had a teacher contract that it had increases, and the bond, if it passed, would have increases. So they really level funded that budget. To their, I'll give them kudos in doing that.
A lot of it was that they had a lot of pushback from fiscal advisory committee members. We had a lot of strong people on there.
Yeah.
And I believe when we did the straw vote, unofficial vote, it was something like 14-2 in favor of doing it this way.
Yeah.
So I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah. So kudos to them to do that. However, I crunched the numbers real quick to say, with the teacher's contract in the bond, I think it's like 63 or 73 cents per thousand on the tax rate that will go up next year. And the school board mentioned that. What they failed to mention was there are implications already next year and the year after, because as you can see, the teacher's contract is a 3-year deal. The bond is a 20-year deal. So if you broke down, the school board told you that it's going to cost you 73 cents in year one. Well, the first year of a bond is interest only. So the implication there is 11 cents. Next year, that 11 cents turns to 44. So you're going to have over a dollar next year, and the people aren't going to have a say in it because you just voted on it. That's the part that really kind of troubles me, because a lot of people just don't understand that. So you can see that teacher's contract in the second year is going to go up 1.6 million, and then the following year another 1.6 million. So when I did the numbers, in 3 years the school budget will be over roughly $106 million. That's if they level fund the next two operating budgets for the next 2 years. That ain't going to happen. So worst case scenario is we went from a $102 million budget to a 106. And then we'll see what the school board brings in for operational budget in year 2 and 3, because it's just going to go higher from that 106 point.
What do you think of that as an incoming member of the school board?
Well, I think that is wonderful information to have, and I think that was a big concern was when we had the forum was, are there going to be any more bonds? And we need to remember that these bonds last for years. And so that'll be something I'll be watching.
And the last one, the teacher's contract, passed 1363 to 531.
Yeah, and so I'm going to say, since I've been in town, we've always treated our employees, whether it's town side or school side, they've always approved these. What I will say is it was touted as a 3.5% increase. But when you read the fine lines, it's basically a step up, because the teachers' contracts have steps wherever they fall in education-wise, they get a step. So if you think about it, in this 3-year contract, so next year the teacher will get a step up plus the 3.5%. It's not just 3.5%, it's the step plus 3. So it could be a 7.5% raise, okay? But then next year, it's a step up and a 3.5% raise, a step up and a 3.5% raise. So it's a good contract for the teachers. I'm hoping that that's going to attract the teachers that we need, but it comes at a price to the taxpayers. So we just got to make sure. Again, I just want to see results. The best thing we can do is get the best bang for our dollar. So hopefully we can turn the grades around in the schools, and do it the right way.
And that's a good point. That's a big concern across many school districts right now. It's the grades. So what do you think of that as an incoming member of the board?
Yes. So I have the unique perspective where I am raising my granddaughter, and she is currently over at West Runningbrook. So I do get a lot of interaction with the teachers. She is in an IEP, so I get to sit with them. They're all so dedicated. We have wonderful teachers here in Derry. So I'm looking forward to see how this impacts them, what they think about it also at this, I want to get some feedback from them. So I'm looking forward to touring some of the schools, reaching out to some of the teachers, getting to know them, getting to know what they need, basically, to bring our students up to a level that is, higher. I guess that's the best way to say it. COVID, everything everything affected all the students now. So I'm looking forward to meeting those teachers.
So I guess for both of you, where do you see the town and the school district going in the next year, next couple of years? We have a lot going on in the next couple of years.
We do. And I would love to see the deferred maintenance taken care of. I'm a little nervous with the tariffs thing that's happening. Is the material going to be there at the price that we want it at? When do we start this? Do we find the contractors now? I mean, there's a lot of footwork to be done before the actual maintenance is taken care of. So I would love to see in the next 3 years a good portion of that taken care of and distributed evenly between the schools, because now with everything going on in the country, that's going to affect the timeline of goods coming in. So which job do we tackle first? When do we do it? Things like that. I don't want any one school to be left out of that. And I would love to see the education. I'd love to see our students test a little bit higher than they're doing. And that's where I'm going to go and speak with the teachers again and see what they need, what we can do to help being a school board.
Yeah, so town side, like I said, I have 18 years here. I talked about Exit 4A forever. But there's 3 major projects that are really, I'm going to call them basically shovel ready. Redeveloping downtown. We've got that developer coming, putting a parking garage and some apartment units. And that's going to be the beginning point of redeveloping downtown. That's number 1. Exit 4A, as we all know, is happening. You're going to start seeing changes there. And then the 3rd project will be bringing running sewer up Ryan's Hill, which will create value in those lots that are over there, because now they'll have water and sewer, so you can kind of redevelop those. That's a lot on the plate for the town side of things. So I feel confident that I left my position as a town councilor doing everything I can to bring in commercial to offset some of those taxes. We're wielding water now south of us, so we're bringing in money, revenues in perpetuity. So I'm leaving the town in good shape, and I'm hoping that the new council basically continues to do that supports the businesses, because our downtown businesses want this development in the downtown. It's gonna help out tremendously. So hopefully, they can continue that work, because now it's gonna come to fruition. All those ideas 20 years ago, now is the time where it's actually happening.
And that brings a good question that I think a lot of people in town have. What do you see as the proper balance between commercial and residential development within Derry?
Well, that's a tough one because, first off, Derry is probably 78, 80% residential. And that's because, and this is my opinion, commercial really wants to go like on the Mass line, so they want to go to Salem or Nashua or Manchester. So if you think of that triangle, commercial wants to go there. And their thought is, these businesses that relocate there, they think that, well, Derry will travel to us because they can also capture the Massachusetts market. So we run an uphill battle bringing commercial in here. Now, having said that, whether you call it commercial or residential, it's still overall value. You're bringing in overall value to the community when you're developing these apartments, and that helps offset taxes to others. So, it is what it is. It's tough getting commercial in here, and I see it sometimes on Facebook. I'll see, well, how come we can't get a Trader Joe's, or how come we can't get It's not us saying, hey, we want you to come here. It's the way we zone, and what wants to come here, that's basically the free market, That's why you're seeing banks that want to come in. We have a few banks, and sometimes we get criticism for that, but hey, that's the market that we're in.
And Brian, you've been doing this battle for 20 years, and think in those 20 years, the children who started in kindergarten are now in the workforce.
Yeah.
So here's our greatest resource we have, which is our children here in Derry. And so the more we can educate them, the more we can bring to the table for them, the more we can move Derry into the next decade.
Yeah, and I had mentioned that, lately I've been very vocal for our seniors that are living on fixed incomes on Social Security, and they get a 2.5% increase, and they have to pay more and more burden of the tax bill.
Yes.
But more importantly, or as important, is our younger generation. Because I had mentioned, I said, we're educating our kids, but will they be able to live in Derry? When the average home is $550,000, we're educating these kids, and they're not going to be able to live in the town that they grew up in, and that's sad.
Yeah, it's a good point. Do you think I'll be able to afford living here after college in 5 years?
I hope things will turn around for you, because my hope for you is you have an opportunity to do that. And having said that, and I'll be very brief, I watched Channel 9. They had a special, and they were talking to a young man. His last name was McGregor. His family were the first people to live in Derry, the McGregors, right? McGregor Park, okay? So his family has a long history in Derry, and he sat there and he said, I can't live in the town that my family actually basically started. To me, that really hit home, and that's sad. That's sad. We got to do something collectively as a state to help fix that problem. Or our young people like Anthony, very smart, educated, where's he going to go? And so we need to keep him here.
Absolutely.
And that brings a good point for the school district. How do you think that impacts the school district in addition to the developments we're getting, whether it be commercial or residential? Because we're getting a lot of both, really.
Yeah,
So-
well, a lot of the young families are taxed right out of Derry. They really are. And so, that being said, we need affordable housing. We need commercial to come in here to relieve some of the burden of the taxes. I mean, there's just multiple facets to this.
Yeah. I know the state's working on it. I know some towns don't like losing local control. I get it. But if we don't do something soon, we're gonna lose that opportunity. And I don't want to see that. So.
Speaking of the state, I guess as a question mostly for you, but how do you think the state delegation, yeah, is going to deal with the school board in the next year? Because over the past few months especially, we've seen a lot of rising tensions between the state reps and certain activists in the town regarding funding. Where do you see the school board becoming more of a battle figure in that?
I'm hoping the school board can work collectively with everyone. I'm hoping that we can put aside our differences and work for the betterment of the community. I think that's number one. You know, we don't need to be at each other's throats. We can have 7 different minds come to the table and come to a conclusion like adults. That's where I see that. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I'll chime in real quick too, because I have. I do think for far too long in this town, we've finger pointed. It's always the blame game. It's, you know, it's this one's not doing this, and this group's not doing that, and the state reps not doing this. And it's like, first off, the state reps can't arbitrarily just grow money, you know, and just say, you know what, okay, we'll give more money to Derry. It doesn't work that way. We have 10 state reps, okay, out of 400. Okay, so if you think that they have that kind of influence, first off, you're mistaken. It's not going to happen. There's a battle going on now between the lawsuits on education and the fact that we just don't have this money. It's just not there, right? But yet, the student populations have gone down over time. You know, demographically, we have less students to educate. But why do the budgets keep growing? And so you've got this chicken and egg thing going on. I think there's still going to be a lot of finger pointing, unfortunately. I don't think there's any solution that's an obvious solution. So we'll see where the courts come down on that. But I know it's hot and heavy right now, and you know, the state's cutting. They're cutting.
All right, well, we got a couple minutes left. Any closing statements from either of you?
Well, I am so looking forward to representing the school board and bringing my knowledge of Derry, I come from an industrial background, so getting these buildings fixed is huge for me. And also raising 4 children here. I'm really looking forward to working with the rest of the school board and coming together, making things happen.
Yeah, I'm just winding down. You know, I'll be gone, but I'm not going away. You know, I still care about this town, and you know, my last residence will be Cemetery Road in this town. So I'll be around watching how things go. But thank you very much for inviting me. I appreciate that, and it'll be interesting to see how things shape up.
I know you'll be watching.
Yeah, it will be.
I will too. And next week we're going to do the same thing we just did here, but with Londonderry. So that'll be fun. I'm Anthony Henry. This has been America's Ass. Thank you for watching.